Okay, ding dongs. If you don't subscribe to Jeremy Ice and Fire, you're gonna spend the night in the box.
Aunt Cooey.
I think this is what had happened.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I did try to warn you.
And welcome welcome all to the From Season 4, Episode 9 pregame show and watch party. And here it is, folks. Here it is. It's hard to believe, but we are about to approach the final 2 episodes of Season 4. This is it, the last 2 hours of From until 2027. And I'm looking forward to it. I am very much looking forward to seeing where is this season going to end. I feel like there's definitely still a lot of ground to be covered. So I'm interested, how much are they going to give us? How much are they going to save for season 5? But I'm here. I'm along for the ride. I'm enjoying the ride. And yeah, I mean, this is it. The penultimate episode, PM. The penultimate. It's here.
It's here. And, it's going to be hard to say goodbye. I want to savor every minute, but you were just letting me know that it's actually the shortest episode, right?
It is. Yes. This is the shortest episode of the season, clocking in at 47 minutes. But once you take away intro time, credit time, probably closer to 44, 43. So it seems to be the shortest episode of the season. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. I guess by the end of the season, we're going to be able to remove a lot of theories and get closer to the truth, right? I feel like they have been giving us a lot of answers, and that's what I expect with the finale, right?
Yep.
There's so much that I want to find out, but what is the number one thing that you want to find out this season before it closes? Like if you could get them to answer one question,
Mhm.
what would it be?
The truth about the sacrifice. What really happened? Why did the parents really sacrifice their children? What was the original deal? That is, if I could have one thing answered for me, that would be the thing that I would want to see. And not just answered, I want to see it. I don't want to just hear an answer through another exposition dump. I want to actually travel back to there, whether it's a flashback or Julie story walking. I want to actually see what the parents did, not just hear about it. I want to see it. That would be the one thing. If I could have anything answered in season 4, it would be that. But what about you in chat? Of course, we definitely want to hear your thoughts on this exact question as well. If you guys could have one thing answered, what would you want answered? What about you, PM? Is there one thing that burns a little bit more than the rest?
Yeah, I really want to know more about the entity.
Okay.
I want to know what sort of entity has the power to provide you with immortality, and what does it want? Because if you're able to give immortality, usually when we have a dark entity, they want something like that, like to live forever, right?
Yeah.
But this entity can give it away, which means it's accessible to itself. So what does an entity that can live forever want? What does it desire? What was the exchange, right? Because there was a bargain. They said, there was a bargain for the children's souls, I'm guessing. And I have a couple of ideas, but I just want to know where they went with it. Because what else is there? right? Other than eternal life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, if this, whatever this entity was, whatever offered the parents this deal, whether it was the man in yellow or whether it was something else, yeah, what was the why offer the parents this deal? That's a very good question. We all kind of get caught up on the how and what happened, but why is just as valid as a question. We know why the parents did it. It seems like they wanted to live forever. An enticing deal seemed to maybe got presented to them. But why did this entity present that deal to them in the first place? What were they trying to get out of it? And my initial kind of reaction is some kind of power generated from the sacrifice. Sacrificing, 7 innocent, pure souls like children, such a dark sacrifice like that in a world like From, I would imagine generates an incredible amount of power for something to channel, maybe. So that's the first thing that comes to mind for me. Maybe that's what this entity maybe gets out of it, some kind of power from the sacrifice. Because when you're sacrificing something, it's to get something in exchange. And I get the feeling it was a little bit more than just the parents getting their immortality. This entity, like you said, clearly wanted something out of the bargain.
Yeah. And it's not immortality because, like I said, it's giving it away, for, not for free, but it's giving it away to lots of people, which means,
Yeah.
there's some power there. I was thinking, okay, I was just thinking, what could this entity desire in a world of From? And I
Yeah.
have an idea. I have an idea, and it's inspired by Constantine, the movie, not the comic. I know that it was a comic, and the movie is very different from the comic book.
Yeah.
But Constantine.
Yeah.
So I believe that if you look at the Lucifer, the Satan in Constantine that wears a white suit,
Yeah.
I believe that the man in yellow is inspired by that depiction of
Okay.
Satan. Because
Okay.
before that depiction of Satan, it was the actor actually who told them that he wanted to wear this white suit instead of making him look dirty and like, how they usually make Satan look. He wanted this angelic white suit, but to be dirty. That way you could see that once upon a time he was great and he is no more, which is what I get from the man in yellow.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and I was thinking, what could an entity like that want eventually? Yes, you're causing pain, you're killing children, you're sacrificing, you're doing all of this, but eternity gets long.
Yeah.
Salvation. Maybe this entity, whoever the man in yellow is taken over by, because I think he's just a guy,
Yeah.
he's just a guy. This entity also wants salvation. They want to get
Okay.
the hell out of here.
Do
They
they
want
want to
to
escape? Yeah.
go back to where they're from, their place of origin up in
Yeah.
the cosmos.
Yeah.
And maybe you do so much that eventually you're going to need children's souls to cleanse everything you've done.
Yeah.
That sort of thing,
Something that would generate that much power to be able to do something like that. Yeah. And again, sacrificing one child, I would imagine, because again, one thing we hear over and over again and from, I should say, is how energy can't just be created or destroyed. They very much seem to be adhering to the general laws of thermodynamics. And if that is the case, then yes, power, energy doesn't just come out of thin air, but the sacrifice of of an innocent child, let alone 7 innocent children in this kind of ritual. Yeah, I have to imagine that could generate enough power to do almost anything, maybe, at least within the world of From. Because it seems like there seems to be some very strong magic or very good indications of some very strong magic in from Sophia's powers, from what happened to the monsters. Definitely looks like it's heading in the magical realm more than kind of anything else. But we also have this, as Ant asks, and you and I were actually talking about this just the other day off stream, because we were wondering this exact same thing, Ant. Because yeah, we all saw the casting call. I mean, I did a video on it right when it first broke, right when the news first broke, that season 4 they were casting for a quote unquote colonial woman monster, and the actress was supposed to be around 60 years or older. And it was going to be like this dead look, described as a kind of undead, dead-looking character, gaunt, dead, along those lines, but was described as colonial woman attire. So a lot of us are wondering, okay, this sounds like a new monster. This sounds like something we haven't really seen on the show before. There's a lot of paintings down in Miranda's basement that point to what it could be. Like there's a lot of colonial woman style paintings down there that many believe might be a depiction of this colonial woman. But yeah, here we are, 8 episodes in. We haven't seen her yet. And PM, you and I think we're of a similar mind in terms of this, or hoping that maybe this colonial woman is going to be a previous version of Tabitha, or maybe even the original version of Tabitha. And I thought that was a great idea that you were discussing the other day.
Mm-hmm. So the colonial woman, right? There's a pattern in From. So if we follow the pattern, everything would indicate that now that Tabitha, she's finally ready to go. She has been kind of, holding on to hope that maybe it's not real. She has been just not wanting to accept reality. But now we saw her in the last episode. She made some big promises. I don't know how she's so confident, but she promised Victor and Ethan that she was going to take them home. I mean, those are huge promises. So it sounds like she's going to stop being afraid and she's going to get to work. Now, we know that Jade, he was able to gather a lot of the information, the memories, because he drank from the skull of his colonial past self. So I was thinking that colonial woman perhaps
is the
Tabitha's past, the partner, if you will.
Yeah.
Of that colonial man. So
that Tabitha to that Jade, that version. Yeah. Yep.
Yes. And so I'm thinking she will have to show up and she will have to now drink from the skull that will finally make her remember everything that she did and all the details of who she is. Because we know that they have some details, but Jade has more than Tabitha because he went on that mushroom trip and he drank from the skull.
Blood. Yeah, exactly.
Tabitha needs to do that now. Tabitha needs to do that. And I think she's probably going to go over to Jade and ask him like, hey, dude, how did he do this?
Hey, how'd you get the answers, bro?
I had to drink from a skull. And it's only fair, okay?
Yeah.
Jade got a mouthful of blood and spiders. It's Tabitha's turn.
And I think, and I'm hoping Tabitha is going to have to undergo something similar. I mean, even if it's not exactly drinking blood out of a skull, something of an equal equivalent, like Tabitha's version of that is something that I would really like to see. Even if it is the skull thing, it would make sense with the memories being actually in the blood. But yeah, no, and I think for Jade, he seemed to have been a little bit not open to these things, but he's been very afraid of the visions that he's been having from the beginning, but he's been very open to the kind of mystical side of things right from the very beginning. As soon as he starts seeing that symbol, as soon as he starts seeing these visions, he instantly starts kind of wondering if there's something else going on here, something that his scientific mind can't quantify. And I think maybe that has helped Jade maybe open his mind up and be a little more receptive to some of the more magical elements in Fromville because he was so determined to chase down that symbol. Right from the very beginning, he wanted only to chase down that symbol. And Tabitha, from the very beginning, seemed to be kind of the opposite, where she's kind of resisting everything. She wants to run away from it. She doesn't want to confront it. So I think Jade's just general state of mind might have been a reason why, another reason as to why he might have seen a little bit more than Tabitha up until this point. Because you're right, Tabitha has only seen Miranda. Tabitha had one single vision of what might have been Miranda's death at the hands of Smiley. But other than that, Tabitha hasn't seen any of her previous selves. And we have heard from Henry that Miranda was seeing tons of her previous selves, not just one, but tons of them. So yeah, why has Tabitha not seen more yet? And maybe she needs to open her mind up a little bit more and start to accept this truth that she's starting to kind of accept now. And I think she just got there a little bit later than Jade, and that's why maybe Jade's a little more in tune to things than Tabitha is.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one idea, right? The other option, now that they have opened up the possibility that there's other things in From, this woman, this colonial woman, could have been a character in a children's book or a character from somebody's past that they were afraid of.
A nightmare.
And they died, a nightmare. Because now, it could really be anything. Now that they say that your nightmares come to life, it could have been a children's story. There's a colonial woman. She's super scary, right? A witch of a sort. And so, yeah, she roams the woods because From gives you dead people's nightmares. So it could be that, it could be either or. Now, when it comes to Tabitha and why she has been refusing, the monster said something really interesting. They said to Jade, you were always basically you were always the dumb one, right?
Yeah.
So like I said, nobody thinks of themselves as a ding dong, says Jade,
No,
right? Nobody
of course
thinks of even the
Mhm.
biggest ding dongs think that they're not ding dongs. They think of themselves as brilliant.
Yeah.
So if the monsters believe that Jade wasn't the smartest, that means that he wasn't with them. Because again, they're not going to think of themselves as idiots. They're going to think we were smart. We made this bargain. We were intelligent. You're the dumb one because you wanted to save these kids. Like it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
So that tells me that it's not both of you were not the smartest. It is you weren't the smartest.
It's you were. Mhm.
It's there's the possibility, a potential that Tabitha was 100% in on it,
Yeah.
or she came up with the idea.
Ooh, I love
It's
that. I would
something
love that
so
twist.
dark.
And
Yeah, it's something so dark because she's refusing to take any accountability, and we
yeah,
see the way she treats her children.
yeah,
She is a little cold towards her children. Any sort of warmth doesn't read like motherly warmth.
it
A
does
lot
not.
of us
No.
have seen that even when she attempts to provide comfort, like Ethan says, is everything going to be okay? Donna says, hell yeah, everything's going to be okay. She says, I don't know. I hope so. It's like, dude, you're, I don't know, that warmth isn't there. But potentially we are reading it that way because that's how it's supposed to read.
Mhm.
Because maybe she's the one that came up with the bright idea. Like, hey
And I
guys, there's this entity, we could like do this, you
yeah.
know?
And I love that idea. And I remember we were discussing something similar a few weeks ago where we have a feeling that there is going to be some kind of reveal coming that either Jade or Tabitha, there's more to the story. It can't just be as simple as they just tried to save these children and failed. Like we kind of have a feeling something darker is coming. Either Jade or Tabitha or both of them are going to be guilty of something. And I like that idea. I mean, I would love to see them even go as far as to do that, not just that they were in on it, that Tabitha actually came up with it and Jade was maybe the one that tried to stop it. Where we look at this original couple as this couple that tried to save the children together. But we really don't know. There's so much about that original kind of deal that we don't know. And that's why, again, like you asked earlier, if we could get anything we wanted answered in season 4, that's why I want to get this answered, because there's just so much mystery around this original sacrifice, this original deal, the original Jade and Tabitha. It's cloaked in so much kind of haze that it would be nice to see them slowly start to peel back the curtains a little bit on that, to give us as the audience a little bit of a better glimpse as to what really happened down there. They don't have to give us everything, but I hope we get a little something this season, and we learn at least something going into season 5 that we didn't know coming into season 4. But no, I love the idea of there being a deep, dark secret hidden there that they just don't know yet, and that maybe even somewhere deep down in their subconscious, they know a part of them is guilty in some way.
Hmm. Yeah, because it is a story as old as time. It is the story of atonement, the story of wanting to cleanse yourself from something so horrifying that you have refused to look at. And in order for you to make up for it, it's going to take a lot of work.
Yeah,
So I'm thinking there's a reason why she's so stubborn. She's hard-headed
right.
and stubborn.
And him
And
too. He's just as stubborn, just in the other direction.
Yeah, but I mean, you want to go home. You have
Yeah,
children. Your husband is dead. I would be
yeah,
like, I need to get the hell out of here. I don't care. Victor has the right idea. He's like, whether you're my mom or not, it doesn't matter. Like, Ethan, I'm gonna give you this can opener because you're probably gonna need it. It is what it
yeah.
is, right? She needs to take on that
Yes.
attitude, but she's refusing to. And when you're refusing to acknowledge your subconscious or your trauma or your past memories,
Yeah.
it is because you're afraid of what
A
you'll
red
find
flag.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you could be afraid of what you'll find there because you have some trauma of your own, but look at the way that Victor has gathered the courage. You're more afraid when you know that you were the villain, that
Mhm.
you're the one that did this. Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to remember either.
No, because that's the thing. Nobody ever, just like nobody ever wants to look at themselves as stupid, like you said earlier.
Mhm.
Nobody ever wants to look at themselves as the villain. everybody is the hero of their own story. It doesn't matter how egregious their actions can be. Sometimes people can justify anything in their own mind at the end of the day to make themselves feel better, to make themselves feel like they aren't the villain. So yeah, even villains see themselves as the hero, at least most of them. But yeah, as we're talking about the colonial woman, we have a super chat coming in asking this exact same question from McLight. And yes, didn't they say the colonial woman was a monster? It just says undead, or it was just described as dead, 60s plus colonial woman attire. And it was described as a dead character, not a monster like the nightmare creature, because a casting call came out for nightmare creatures like regular monsters in that same casting call, and it was totally separate from this. So this was a casting call for something totally different, something we haven't seen before, not the regular nightmare creature monsters, because those are a totally different casting call. But yeah, and part of me is wondering, and I would hate for this to be, the outcome, but it is a real possibility. Sometimes just because they cast a character and film scenes with a character doesn't necessarily mean that character is always going to make it into the show. Sometimes that happens where casting calls go out and casting, and people will actually get casted. But for whatever reason, the role gets kind of left on the cutting room floor due to time, narrative purposes, rewrites, whatever the case may be. I really hope that's not the case, because when that casting call came out, it was really exciting, the idea of getting this new kind of monster that we haven't seen before. But that is also a slight possibility that, yes, this casting call went out, but maybe it ended up being a character they didn't use. But I hope that's not the case.
Yes. Thank you, Maglight. And I'm putting this here because somebody did the work and they answer your question, Maglight. So this is what the casting call read. Colonial woman, an actor non-speaking female. So the non-speaking is the one that I'm like, maybe it is Tabitha, because remember the colonial guy didn't really speak. He just kept going like this.
I would love for it to be the original Tabitha. I think that would be awesome.
And then Little Red Riding Hood, when she's a little girl, could be Little Blue. Instead of Little Blue, Little Boy in Blue, it's Little Girl in Red.
Up just like the young version of Jade showed up. The young version of Tabitha shows up, guides her. She gets her memories back, and all of a sudden they're on equal playing field again.
Yeah, Little Red is like, hey, you need to drink the blood, just like Little Blue. Yeah, Little Red and Little Blue.
Little Blue. Yeah, I like it.
But this is what I find really interesting, Maglight and Jeremy. She is austere, unnerving, thin, sharp, and quietly imposing. I'm telling you, if that is a previous Tabby, that means that she wasn't the greatest, okay? Somebody who is unnerving, austere, and quietly imposing, maybe she was calling all the shots and everybody listened to her. If she's quietly imposing, like maybe she did get the whole town to make this bargain. That doesn't sound like the nicest of persons, okay? Just my opinion.
No, I mean it definitely doesn't sound like the warmest character that you would want to run across in a dark alley at night. That is for sure. That is for sure. But yeah, I really hope that they did use her. If they did cast her, and I really hope that they did use her in some capacity, and maybe we'll see her in either this episode or the finale. I really hope it wasn't a character that just got left on the cutting room floor. That would be a little disappointing.
Yeah, no, I hope that we see her before the end of the series, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Either way, I'm so excited to see this Clara because she seems like so sweet to me. Okay, I know that we saw the preview for the episode, and Clara is part of the preview. She's talking to Sophia, and Sophia's like, "Hey, do you know who I am? Look closer." And poor little Clara, I think she's just a sweet girl. Honestly, I think that Clara, she's just a very sweet person. She likes to be involved, so she kind of hangs around. But I don't think that there's anything more to that, And the way she goes, "Oh no," it's like, oh my God, she's so sweet. She probably saw something terrifying in Sophia's eyes, like a demon or the devil, right? But she's very sweet. She's such a sweet girl, or that's what she seems like. Now, a lot of people for Clara, they were saying she doesn't change her clothing. And they believe that the clothing has something to do with the men in yellow staying in that form. And I would just have to say, from my perspective, I disagree. I don't think that it has anything to do with her not changing her clothing. Let's remember that these are like hand-me-downs. So if you're able to find hand-me-downs that fit, that's great, for most people that are regular size. But Clara is plus size. So if she found an outfit that fits her, yeah, she's probably not going to be able to have access to lots of different outfits. So she found this one and she wears it all the time. And I don't think there's anything, suspicious about that. Not at all.
No, 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 not at all. I mean, like you said, there isn't exactly a wide variety of clothes to choose from for regular people and from. But like you said, she is a plus size woman, so that logistic has to get taken into consideration, I suppose. So yeah, I mean, I think we see a lot of characters that are always kind of dressed in similar clothes. Donna, throughout all the seasons, always kind of has like the same kind of like coverall, shirt on with her hands in her pockets. So, I don't think it's too suspicious that she has the same thing on all the time. And I mean, I don't think it's anything Man in Yellow related, especially now that we're seeing them both on the screen at the same time. So. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Clara thing is going to be very interesting because a lot of people were noticing, and I noticed it, but it wasn't something like I dove like really deep into. But a lot of people did notice that Clara has been missing for the last 2 or 3 episodes. Like she hasn't appeared anywhere. Usually she's in almost every episode, somewhere in the background, just about all the time. And her absence got noticed by a lot of people. I remember seeing a lot of comments coming in over those 2 or 3 episodes with a bunch of people just saying, "Where the fuck is Clara?" So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll finally find out who Clara really is. Is there some secret that is hidden beneath the surface there? A lot of comments that we got were theorizing that Clara is really Eloise. I don't think that's the case. Personally, I feel like that would be a bit of a stretch. Not only is Clara way too young to be Eloise. We know Eloise and Victor are around the same age, and Victor is way older than Clara. So I don't expect her to be Eloise. I mean, some were suggesting that it's a reincarnation of Eloise. I don't think so. I think Clara is just Clara. I don't know. That's just me. Just like Tilly. When the whole Tilly thing was going on, I don't know. Whenever I saw Tilly, I just saw an old woman that is overbearing and overeager to help someone that doesn't want help. So I always thought Tilly was just Tilly, and I still think Clara is just Clara.
Yeah. When it comes to like if Clara is Eloise, I know that everybody's looking for this girl, right? Like Eloise is missing. Amber Alert. We're looking for her. Where are you, girl?
She might be dead.
But they told us a couple of times. I wouldn't be surprised if I was the creator. I would say, I told you a couple of times. She's dead. Like I literally have a tombstone for her. But this is what I think. We shouldn't focus, like Boy and White says, we are asking the wrong question.
Yes.
The question is not, is she dead? Is she alive? It is what happened between point A, she runs out to find Mama, and B, she dies. What happened in between? Yeah. How did she die? What happened between those two things? We need to see that. I think that's the right question because I believe that it's going to have something to do with Tabitha and the way that her soul is always killed, to reincarnate. They say the town takes care of Jade, but something horrible happens to Tabitha, something much worse. Yeah. And like I've said before, as a mother, you could have whatever happened to you. Yeah, it's going to be bad and it's going to be horrible, but the worst thing you could do for a mother is hurt their child in a way that you're not able to assist them, to help them. Yeah. That's the worst thing that you could ever do. So that's why I'm wondering, have we not seen Eloise's final moments because they have something to do with Tabitha?
Exactly. And I feel like even if Eloise is dead, there is still some kind of answer that needs to be answered. And that's one thing I've always wondered. We see her kind of run out of the root cellar, and that's it. All we hear from the creators is that Eloise and Miranda leave town and never return. Now, all these seasons later, we finally get the answer as to where Miranda, at least where her body was discovered, next to the faraway tree. presumably being eaten by the man in yellow, according to Victor. But yeah, what happened to Eloise? Again, even if she is dead, even if she really did die in that massacre, got killed by one of the monsters, by the man in yellow, I feel like there is a reason why we haven't seen her death scene. Like the reason why it's been so ambiguous, because yes, they've been kind of hinting that she's been dead for a while, but they've been seemingly deliberately leaving it ambiguous, leaving that door a little bit open in terms of, Victor's dialogue, not being sure if it was her, he couldn't tell, stuff like that. Little things that leave a little room for ambiguity. So yeah, at this point, I feel like we're so late into the game. Is it even possible to introduce Eloise, a whole new character and storyline, and be able to fill it all in satisfyingly with only one season left? I mean, yeah, you probably could, absolutely, depending on how you do it. But yeah, I think the longer the show goes on without any Eloise reveal, the more I started to think more and more that she is dead. But there's still an answer there that needs to be discovered in terms of how she died and what happened when she left the root cellar and where she ultimately ended up. So yeah, I don't know. She might be dead, but I do think there's still an answer there, a reveal there.
Well, we have not seen this thing on MGM.
Oh yes, I have.
So maybe while you look for this,
I have it. Yeah, it's right here.
Oh my God, you have it? Okay, great.
Yeah.
I could tell you, because I was seeing you guys in the chat are saying Donna. The name Donna gets thrown a lot around as to who could potentially be Eloise. Now,
yeah,
Donna, I do find more believable. And the reason
way more
why
believable.
it's not her behavior. It's not that we didn't see her arrive. The reason why I find it believable is because if Eloise is a story walker, right? Which I think if Julie is, then the pattern would suffice that Eloise would be a story walker. Ethan is, the same position that that Victor was. I could see Eloise traveling, she's trying to get a hang of the story walking. She comes back and her brother is, 50 years old, whatever Victor is. Instead of telling him, she realizes he is so traumatized. Instead of me being able to tell him anything, I'm just going to kind of take over and help him. Because she was very much like a mother figure to him. So I could definitely see her not revealing I'm Eloise, but kind of like nurturing and taking care of Victor the way that Donna did. And Boyd said when he met her, he right away clocked it. This one's a survivor. So when you bring up Donna, you guys in the chat, I do think Donna has a higher possibility of potentially being Eloise. And that's why she keeps telling them, stop trying to leave. Because she knows for a fact that she's tried many times and she never could do it. So she knows, and she said, there's a lot of things that you're going to miss about this place. It's like, how do you know? Have you gone back and forth through time and seen other monsters? So that one's a little bit more believable.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, Donna is, similar age. Yeah, I don't know. This Eloise thing it's definitely, you can understand why it's been such a popular discussion amongst fans with how the show kind of, again, has left it a little bit ambiguous. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know at this point. For a while there, I had many different theories about what Eloise could potentially be, what the storyline could potentially be. But again, the further we got into the story, the more I'm starting to think that she is dead. But there is still some kind of answer to be uncovered there about how she died and why she died. But yeah, I like it. I don't know. Maybe that's why they're keeping Donna around. Maybe that's why she's surviving freaking random heart attacks like it was nothing up the next day walking around. But yeah, good stuff. And thank you again, Miss McLight, for the $2 as well, my friend. And yeah, hopefully we do see that colonial woman. Hopefully we do. Hopefully that character did not get cut. But let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. And in here in a minute, we have a few interesting sneak peeks for episode 9. There is a scene that was recently uploaded. It's out there. I'm sure it's started to make the rounds already. I'm sure some of you might have already have even seen it. But we're going to play it here in a little bit. It's a very interesting scene between Victor and the boy in white, a little extended scene from the trailer. And we're also going to take a look at a very interesting Matt Likely interview that we found, in which he describes something very interesting happening in the finale of season 4. But first, we will go to the bonus scene, the Victor Boy in White bonus scene. Now, again, for anybody who maybe doesn't want to see the Victor Boy in White bonus scene, totally understand. You guys know how we do. We always like to give a little bit of a warning. Now, this is not a very spoilery scene at all. But it does spoil one thing that a lot of us have been theorizing on. Something that we saw in the episode 9 trailer. We see the Boy in White and Victor. But it's a very quick snippet. This is a continuation of that scene, and here we will be finding out exactly what the boy in white is going to say to Victor. Again, it's been a lot of theories going around, a lot of similar theories as to what the boy in white might be saying here. But just in case you don't want to see it, again, it's not a huge spoiler, but just in case you don't want to see it, now is your time to leave. And again, it's only about 1:40, so we're going to play it, discuss it for a few minutes, and then we'll be right on to the Matt Likely interview. So if you don't want to be spoiled, now is the time to back out. Now it's around 1:42 long, so I can't play the whole thing all at once. So we'll play around like half of it, pause it, talk about it a little bit, and then we'll play the other half. And apologize in advance for the audio. The audio was so low on the video that we got this from. I tried to turn it up and enhance it as best I could, but the audio is a little bit low, so you might have to turn up your speakers a little. But nonetheless, here it is, ladies and gents, a sneak peek of episode 9 entitled The Calm Before. And here we see Victor and the boy in white.
Much. I don't really know what to think anymore. Boyd told Dad and I that you're Tabitha now. If you're Tabitha, that means that you're not with Eloise. That means you're not even there.
All right, man, let's cut it there. We'll play it in 3 different sections. Man, Vic, like, when does Scott McCord not just hit you right in the fucking feels every time he has a scene like this? This is why he's my favorite actor on the show. Jade might be my favorite character, with Victor and Boyd a very close second. But Scott McCord is my favorite actor on the show. Watching him perform, watching him get into this character, it's always such a freaking treat. And here we see him, explaining some of his kind of concerns, some of his worries. Boyd came up to him and Henry, told him about the whole Miranda, Tabitha reincarnation thing. And I love how Victor's first, his mind first goes to this. Not trying to understand what this means or anything like that. His first worry is that if you're Tabitha now, that means you're not with Eloise. That broke my heart when I heard that. I'm like, this, and it's just because it just shows what a pure soul Victor really is, and how he's still very much carrying that guilt for not being able to save Eloise that night, for not being able to stop her that night. I think it gives him some kind of solace knowing that Miranda and Eloise both died. I think it gives him solace knowing that they're together in wherever they are. And here we see that kind of get shaken a little bit, and you see how it affects him. And again, Scott McCord just plays these scenes so fucking well. And you can just feel that hurt, where it just shows the purity. Again, it shows how pure of a soul Victor is, where as soon as he hears this big news, the only thing he's thinking about is his poor young sister Eloise being alone now, if Miranda's now Tabitha. It's just, how can you not love this character?
You're killing me, Jeremy. You better not clip that. You better not clip that to your Victor clips. Yeah, it's extremely sad, which we go back to the beginning, right? The story of From began with a sacrifice. This is what we're told. The parents sacrificed their children. Now, Victor here, he illustrates how important and imperative it is that your mother provides this home feeling for you, that no matter what happens, at least he had this comfort. Eloise is with you, right? You are home. A mother is the ultimate comfort, the ultimate protector. There's grown men that we have seen that have fought wars, and who do they call on when everything falls apart? Their mother. You will hear them screaming,
Yeah.
this grown men,
Yeah.
mom,
Yeah.
because mothers are so important and
Comfort.
such a source of comfort and protection. So that is why it's even worse, the story of From, the fact that these children look towards their parents and experience the ultimate betrayal. The ultimate betrayal is
Yeah.
that of a parent towards a child,
Yeah.
because you have created them. That is as if your creator itself, right?
Turning on
Your
you. Yeah.
God has
Yeah.
turned on you.
Yeah.
I mean, that is some heavy stuff. But and fathers are important too, don't get me wrong. Father's Day is coming up tomorrow, so I don't want to
Father's Day
shade that.
tomorrow. Yes, that's right. Shout out to all of the fathers out there. Father's Day tomorrow. Love it. Absolutely love it. Gonna do something fun with my dad tomorrow. That'll be fun. But yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with you. I feel like, a parent's warmth in general is great, but yeah, like we see it time and time again, even the darkest of villains at the end, when they're at that last moment, you hear them cry out for their moms, that warmth and comfort of a mother's love. And yeah, you can tell that is something that Victor has been deprived of his whole life. And you can see how that shaped him, not having that motherly love there to guide him, not having that fatherly love there to guide him, being on his own, having nothing but this very strange boy in white that pops up every fucking now and again and shows him a truck full of peaches. It's going to be a very rough life. You can see why Victor has been molded into what he is. But yeah, I love what BG says here. Yeah, dude, Scott McCord hits the emotion so perfectly. That's absolutely that defeated, emotionally voided state after you've cried all you possibly could. Damn, so good. And it is. I don't know what Scott McCord as a human being, as an actor, taps into. I don't know what kind of headspace he gets into to get into the skin of Victor. But that's one thing I've always been very curious about. I would love to know, like, what did Scott McCord research? Did he do some deep research into trauma, into isolation, and the long-term effects it has on people and on the development of a child's brain? Like, I would love to know what he researched going into this role, because he just seems like he has such a knack for what this trauma would do to a kid like this, what this would really look like if someone was put in this situation. He just seems to have such a natural feel for the emotional state of it. And that is not an easy, that's why I always say, like, this is the most difficult role on the entire show. And I think he just absolutely kills it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, he's amazing. He's amazing. And it makes you think, guys, the better that he acts as a hurt child, the angrier I get at Tabitha
Yes.
for being so mean and saying, "What's wrong with you?" It's like, what's wrong with him, ma'am, is that he was left alone in this place for a really long time.
Exactly.
And then anybody that came in, he probably saw them slaughtered. That's what's wrong with him. And his mom was killed in front of him. Like, that is what's wrong with him,
and
lady.
literally eaten alive. Her body was eaten in front of him. Like, that's what, you don't have any idea what that would do to a kid? My God. Yeah, Tabitha,
the question should be like, what is not wrong with me? What is not, after I go through all of that, what survives? Ask me what survived inside me, because everything else got twisted.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see the next part, Jeremy.
Yes, let's play the next part. Absolutely. Enough time has passed. All right, here we go. Part 2.
I don't know where else to go. I think there's something wrong with Dad, and I don't know how to help him. Tabitha says that we're gonna go home. But what if he doesn't make it that long? I don't know things that I'm supposed to say to someone.
All right, we'll pause it there. The last part will be the boy in white part that we'll play in full. And here we see the second worry that he has. Clearly, he's starting to notice that there is something really wrong with his father beyond just the alcoholism. It seems like Victor's noticing that. He doesn't know how to help him. And again, it's Victor embodying that feeling of this helpless child trying to help a parent that should be there helping him. And it's such a profound kind of thing to go through as a kid, to have that feeling, to just have this helpless feeling, not knowing how do I help my dad? He's going through whatever he's going through. And again, it just shows the pure soul, the kind of pure heart that Victor is, where, no matter all of this craziness that's going on, he's not thinking about himself. He's thinking about how do I help others. And that's just, again, I feel like it's such a good kind of peeling back of the layers here every time we get a scene like this of Victor, where it really just shows you the real kind of person he is deep down. This is who he is. He is a very selfless person. And he wants to help others. He's just afraid. He lets his fear gets the better of him, and you can totally understand why after everything he's been through. So yeah, I'm with you. Whenever you hear Tabitha or someone else say, "What's wrong with you, Victor?" It's like, are you fucking kidding me? What do you think is wrong with him? Look at what he has gone through. I couldn't even ask that.
Like,
So
what's
yeah,
not wrong with me? What's not wrong with me at this point,
right,
lady? Like,
for real.
but I think this is just how I'm reading it, that Victor was parenticized long before From, because if his parents were that style,
Yeah.
Henry seems like, he was prone towards alcohol, then he was parenticized long before From. Now, in here, we see a child that is given the task of having to say something to his parent because he's noticing my parent is not well, but I don't know what to say to someone because he has no tools. He literally has no tools at his disposal. All he has done is kind of disassociate from his memories that are not good. And what do you say to Henry? Disassociate? My personal opinion, okay, don't have to agree with this, but it's just my personal opinion. I'm a parent. I think what Henry is doing and what a lot of parents do is unfair, and it is selfish. When you get yourself into a problem to the point where your children have to worry about you because you're drinking too much, they have to worry about you because you're doing something too much, and you're not making sure that you take care of yourself and take care of those kids. When you become the person that they need to take care of, I know a lot of people think, honor thy father, thy mother, and you take care of your parents. No, I don't think that's how it is. They created you. They're supposed to take care of you, and then you have children and you take care of your children, and a chain goes along that advances humanity. But when you do that to a child and they have to see their heroes, their mothers, fathers, drunk or, getting involved in things that are not okay, I think it's you're doing them a disservice. And you end up with children like this that say, I know that there's something wrong, but I don't know what to say. And guess what? Because you were supposed to teach me. You were supposed to teach me that strength. You didn't give it to me. And not to say that people are not going to have problems, alcoholism, whatever. But you take care of yourself. The problem that you have, the disease that you have, is not your fault. But it is your responsibility to fix. Not your fault, but still your responsibility. And Henry was doing it. We did see Henry say, hey, I'm going to chop up some veggies, because if I don't, I'm going to be over there at the bar. So he was
trying. He's trying. But like someone says in the chat, doesn't Henry have a hex on him? It seems like he does. It seems like there's a little bit more going on with Henry than just the average alcoholism. I mean, we all saw him drink Sophia's blood, and we are seeing that he's having these visions because of it. He's thinking that he's in the hospital, laying in a hospice care somewhere. They're talking to him about severing the tether to this imaginary world so he can stay here forever. Very much making a lot of people think that the tether is Victor. And I think it could very well be Victor, or maybe even Tabitha. Again, he did enter this world with Tabitha, technically. Maybe Tabitha could also be the tether. But it seems like Henry is definitely under some kind of spell, some kind of hex. Something is going on there that Sophia is doing to him with her blood. And it seems like in this episode, Victor is starting to notice it. Victor's noticing that there's something really wrong with my dad, but I don't know how to help him. And like you said, he doesn't have the tools. Victor doesn't have the social skills. He doesn't have the experience emotionally to deal with stuff like this, because he's been in survival mode his whole life. And that's why I love how Jade kind of talks to Henry at the end of season 3, when Henry comes up to Jade trying to learn how he can kind of get to know Victor a little bit more, how we can kind of get on his level. And Jade just straight up tells him, he's like, he's Tarzan that grew up in the wild, and you're the asshole coming around telling me he doesn't know how to hold a fork. And I thought that was a perfect kind of metaphor for who Victor is. Like he's a product of this place. He's a product of Fromville. He grew up in just survival mode. He didn't have time to build social skills. Didn't time to have any emotional depth and maturity. He just didn't have that chance. So yeah, you see him just struggling here to try and think of anything to do to try and help his dad. But let's play the last part and we can see what you guys are saying about the boy in white discussion. Victor and the boy in white. Unless you had one more thing you wanted to add before we play the last part.
Well, about Henry and the blood, because I do see you chat.
Yeah,
we're here to talk to you, so I want to address, what they're talking about, the blood that he consumed. I think that the blood is causing him to have hallucinations of his perfect life. The blood was needed for him to be able to have those hallucinations while Sophia is going around town doing whatever she wants. She's probably like, here, if I give you some blood, you'll have hallucinations, you'll be tripping for a while, and I'll be going around town smelling eggs and doing all sorts of weird stuff. So what I find really interesting is that the blood gave him the version of his perfect life. In his perfect life, all of this has just been a mistake, and Victor is, quote unquote, normal. His daughter's alive.
Bad hit of acid, bro. It's just one bad trip.
And you know what, Henry, I understand why the boy in white gets pissed. They don't ask the right questions, because Henry didn't ask, what about your mom? We know Eloise, right? And Victor. I would be like, where's your mom? Where's your mom? Like, I want to talk to your mom. Why isn't she by my side?
If this is the perfect ideal life, then where's my whole family? Yeah.
Exactly, right? So I think that that's what it's doing. That's what the blood is doing. Now, it's really important. When you read back what she said to him, the doctor does not lie to him. This is really interesting about the man in yellow. The man in yellow is a trickster. It knows how to, deviate from the truth just enough that it doesn't lie to you, but
chooses
you're kind of at fault.
Very carefully, yeah.
Because she doesn't say from that fantasy, from that fake world. She says, you must cut the tether, whatever is what did she say?
Yeah, you need to cut the tether to that world. If
the tether
here.
I just couldn't remember if it was the tether or, the anchor. It was not a tether, it was the anchor. You must cut the anchor that is keeping you in that version of reality.
Yeah.
So if you don't pay attention, you're missing out that she's telling him that is reality. She's not lying to him. So if he goes and cuts whatever tether, she never said that was a fake life. She said that's a version of reality. Yeah. So she's basically telling him that's reality if you want to stay here. And she doesn't say that here is a fantasy. Exactly. So she didn't lie to him. She said that version of reality, technically, she told him that's real. This is not.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was interesting how she says, if you want to stay here, not if you want to return to the real world, not if you want to return to reality, if you want to stay here. I believe the dialogue was. And yeah, it definitely points to what you're saying, that, the man in yellow or the Sophia character or whatever, vision that is being conjured up here seems to be very tailor-made, even to the point where the whole freaking room is just yellow. So yeah, very interesting. And speaking of yellow, the man in yellow himself in the chat. What is up, Doug? We are counting down the time, looking forward to episode 9. We can't believe there's only 2 episodes left. It feels like the season has whipped by way too fast. But yeah, we are counting down the time. We are a little over 1 hour away from episode 9. And I do hear some people asking in the chat, when exactly is it going to be available? I know it's not available I know it's available at different times depending on where you live, but anybody who wants to watch it will be more than welcome to watch it with us. The Discord will be open to all. We do these watch parties every week. So even if you get it a little bit later, if you want to pop into the Discord a little after midnight Eastern Standard Time, everybody will be able to watch it. And thanks to all of the recent boosts, We have a capacity of like 500 people in there now, so there'll be plenty of room for anybody. But yeah, we are 1 hour away, folks, just a little over 1 hour away from episode 9. Penultimate, baby. The penultimate episode.
Yay. You know what? We have been looking for you, Mr. Menangelo. We have been looking for you everywhere because I love your last performance. And this is not a spoiler. It already happened. We already saw it. When you have that conversation with Tabitha, it was
Great scene.
so fun to
Yeah.
see your flair because the Menangelo has flair, right? The way
He's
that
got-
he
he's got
walks, the way that
style.
he
He has
sways, he's got
style. Yeah.
style.
I think it's why it's such a beloved character. You know, the suit, the attitude, like everything that goes into it. It's just
He has this sway and the swag about him. And then when he kisses Tabitha's hand, I was wondering, as an acting, just the perspective of acting,
Yeah.
are the physical moves part of your interpretation of the character, how he moves, or are all the physical moves something that they tell you to do, like the kissing her hand, the walking like that? Is that your interpretation of the character, something that you decided to do physically, or is that something that they tell you? So the character has always had that flair. That's what I want to know. I want to know about this swag. Where does he get his swag? Was it written into the story?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good choice. You know, how much of it is Doug's interpretation of the character, and how much of it is it directed? I guess you could say, yeah, very good choice. Because it is. I feel like it's whatever it is, whatever the mix is, it's crafted such a unique kind of interesting character that a lot of us have really, really gravitated towards and wanted to see more of. So yeah, when he popped back up in episode 8. Could not be happier that the Man in Yellow has his suit back. So now that means hopefully we'll be seeing more of it. Okay, so it depends on the situation, but in general, we're left to our own devices. Yeah, and he does, and Doug does say that often.
Yeah.
A few times we've had him on the channel, he does often say that they are kind of left to their own devices. They are kind of left to kind of search out their own creativity with characters, and that must be very freeing for an actor to not feel like you're under too much restraint. Do it this way, that every time, you know, let them feel out the character. I imagine that's a good approach.
Yeah. Well, I was asking that, Mr. Menangelo, because everybody made a big to-do. A lot of people made a big to-do about the kiss that you planted on Tabitha's hand. To a lot of people, that read like you kissed her hand because there's something in between them. I didn't read it that way. You know,
No, yeah.
having met Doug, having talked to Doug, I read it more like he's a gentleman. You know, he has this swag about him. He has a gentleman way. So of course he grabbed her hand and kissed it. It's this gentleman way about him, right? This style.
Okay, this is interesting. I will say that I asked Catalina if she was okay with it before I pulled it on her, and that's good. I think that's very respectable, very, very mature to do. You know, and again, you know, sometimes as an actor, you get an idea that you think might enhance the scene, might add a little interesting kind of layer to the scene. Yeah, you run it by your scene partner, see if they're both okay with it, and then you go for it. I imagine that's where some of the magic comes from. Some of these improv things, some of the things that just happen on set that maybe aren't in the script. At least I love seeing that part of filmmaking. Like when we find out that a certain scene was improv or something like that. I love seeing that because it just shows you the creativity of the actors and the directors letting the actors kind of play with that creativity inside of them. So no, that's great.
Wow.
You know, it's great because it worked. It definitely worked for the scene. I feel like it enhanced the scene, the kiss on the hand.
This is huge. This is huge, okay? This is breaking news. The hand on Catalina's, the kiss on Catalina's hand on Tabitha was something that he put into the character and asked her if she was okay with that. And so she was, because it made it into the episode. That means a lot to me because like I said, a lot of people were saying, oh, it reads like they have a past. It reads like maybe he was her husband, right? All of these theories, and it didn't read like that to me. It read like, oh, he's a gentleman, so of course, you know, he's kissing her hand before he kills her and puts her through hell, right? The devil can also be a gentleman.
Very true.
And now that we know that it's the flair that Doug adds, we could dismiss those theories. I'm thinking.
Maybe. Just like the man in yellow, I also like how Doug uses his dialogue very carefully as well, by not necessarily saying if it was in the script or not, just saying, I will say that I asked her before I did it. So that's very, very interesting dialogue there. But yeah, does that mean it was improv? Yeah, maybe. I'm leaning a little more towards that way myself. But no, I like that. I like that. And since Doug is here, we have a 199 super chat asking, and this is actually something I was wondering. Is it something that I have to imagine it's probably a dentures, but Doug will answer this, of course, far better than we can. Are the teeth dentures, Doug? Yeah, they're super black, nasty, scary looking. Yeah, is that dentures, or is that something that they just stain your teeth with? I have to imagine it's a false set. Oh, just makeup. So it's not dentures. Okay, awesome. So they don't have to put in a whole set of dentures. They just straight up makeup, because it looks good. I mean, the black teeth look really good. So yeah, there it is, Bradley. There is your answer, my friend. It is not dentures. It is simply just makeup. Love it. Absolutely love it. And thank you so much, Bradley, for the 199, my friend. I owe you a well. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. They have particular makeup for teeth. Yeah, something that probably won't run, I would imagine. I mean, it's got to be able to get wet and not run off. And it's a pain in the ass. It's probably, again, since it has to be in your mouth and it has to be susceptible to getting wet and not running off, it must be a pain in the ass to brush your teeth at the end of the day and get that shit off. It's probably a nightmare. But hey, the art, right? For the art. But no, that's cool. That's cool to know that it is just straight up makeup.
Yeah, no, they did an amazing job with the makeup department. Amazing. The way that they have his eyes. His eyes have like a little bit of red in there.
When he
The
first
makeup
popped
that they
up.
put on the hands, because even his hands have makeup on it to make them look like that. So I love the makeup department of From, and the wardrobe department, and the wig department. Whoever is responsible for Julie's wig, like I love that person. I love that they like literally looked at that wig and said, "This is the one. This is the one that's gonna make it into the show." Whoever
Mhm.
is responsible for that wig, I love them.
The wig has been a gift. It definitely has been the gift that keeps on giving, if nothing else, for sure. For sure. Yeah, 1 hour left, Xavier. 1 hour left, ladies and gents. We are less than 59 minutes actually now. 59 minutes. Awesome stuff. Oh no, it's not hard to keep off. It's hard to keep on. Okay, yeah, because it's running, because it's wet. Again, something in your mouth that's going to be wet all day. Yeah, that's probably tough. The red eyes, that's just my 3 martini lunch showing. Yeah,
And this
no
is why he was
contacts or
picked.
anything.
This is
Just
why he was picked for Men in Yellow.
yeah.
Because there is something, even through the chat, you could tell that Doug is a fun guy who has swag and flair, even through just typing. Okay. This is why I believe he was picked as the Man in Yellow. He transmits this playful attitude, this devil may care attitude. So I think they saw him and they're like, you know what, you're the Man in Yellow. You're the Man in Yellow.
It is. I mean, it's such a great character. Such a great character. Yes. Oh, all right. Yes. Let's play the last. Yes, we will play the last 30 seconds of this clip, and then I will get right to these 2 super chats here from Diana and from Dark Lake. Thank you guys so much. All right, let's play this last 30 seconds. We'll get to it. Boy in White and Victor continuation. Again, if anyone was not here earlier and is just coming in now, this is a little sneak peek of episode 9. They released a full scene a few hours ago. I believe they released it yesterday, actually. It's just a little scene between Victor and the boy in white. But if anyone doesn't want to see it, now is your warning, just in case you don't want to get spoiled. Not too spoilery, but again, just in case you don't want to see it, here is the continuation of the Victor boy in white scene.
Go away. This is private. What do you want?
You know what the others are doing?
Going into the tunnels to get the bones so everyone can go home.
You know they're gonna pull down the tree?
Bottle tree?
I've told you before. That tree is important. You can't let that happen.
Boom. Oof. There it is, ladies and gents. And we called it. We talked about it. We had a feeling that there's going to be some kind of very bad, and a lot of you guys called it in the chat. And you were right. I think you guys were right. There's going to be some dire consequences if they rip that tree out of the ground, roots and all. Not just trying to cut it down, they're trying to rip it out, roots and all. The very roots that the children themselves created out of their only hope they could muster up to have some kind of plan to get out of this existence, this sacrifice that they were kind of just getting thrown into. Yeah, again, part of me has always wondered if the tree is ultimately going to be the exit, ultimately going to be the way out of Fromville. Yes, they're not going to be able to access it now, but once they save the children, whatever saving the children actually entails, I wouldn't be too surprised if the tree is going to be the ultimate way out of Fromville after the quest is complete. And if Jade goes and rips it out, there's going to be hell to pay. I also wouldn't be too surprised if they rip this tree out and there is actual physical hell to pay on Fromville. Like pulling the tree out, destabilizes the place, for lack of a better term. What if Fromville becomes unstable? What if that tree was serving a bigger purpose than just a faraway tree? Like there's so much we don't know about it. So yeah, I think Jade is getting ready to unleash hell if he does successfully rip this thing out.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to kind of put one and two together that if you're ripping out the hope tree, bad things are going to happen. Like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Which is why it's a ridiculous idea for Jade to even come up with. Like, Jade knows about the mystical aspects of this place. He knows about the supernatural side of this place. He has to know to some degree that this tree might be important. The fact that this was his first idea is crazy.
He's done it before, though.
You're smarter than this, Jade.
Yeah, but it follows the pattern. It does follow Jade's pattern. Remember, he's the one that removed the ancient Tower of Doom, the talisman from it, right? So he knows that there's superficial, mystical things, but he sees them as maybe they were helpful before. They're not helpful anymore. They're not, their purpose is not there. So I'm going to remove it, right? So he did that with the totems. This fits his character because he's like, yeah, it's the hope tree, but I got what I needed from it. So we don't really need it anymore. This is a way out, right? Yeah. He's just thinking technically and not logically. But when it comes to the tree, they said that the answers are in the first episode. Like I said, doesn't take a rocket scientist. Every single one of them sees a fallen tree with the roots, like uprooted fallen tree. Different sorts of trees, but each one of them has seen it, right? Yeah. And then you see the crows that are around the tree, and they are hawking at you so that you take notice of this as a bad omen. I believe the crows are trying to help them, and the children are trying to help them by putting that tree and telling them, when you see the tree, bad things happen. So put it together. Uprooting the tree is not good. It's bad. What is a ton of crows called? A murder. You're going to get murdered if you uproot the tree. You're going to get murdered. So I think that, the message has been there. And they give it to everybody so that maybe if the town sees that this is the plan, any one of them can say, hey, should we put this together with the fact that we all saw an uprooted tree? Yeah. Right? Yeah. But I love how they're hiding the boy in white in the bushes.
I love the creepy aspect of the boy in white. Just like, again, this is like a super private, super profound moment for Victor at his mother and Eloise's grave. And here we just see the boy in white just slowly like creeping up on him in the woods. Doesn't even walk all the way up to him. Stays like creeping behind the fucking bush. It's super fucking funny. It's so
funny. It's like in shows or shows where there's a pregnancy, the pregnant actor will be holding random things to hide the pregnancy. They're trying to do that with him because he's so big. So they're hiding him in the bushes.
One thing they can't hide is his deep ass voice. He sounds like a grown man.
He sounds like he has an accent.
Have you heard what they're doing? You
Oh
gotta
my God,
stop them
Jeremy.
from- That tree's important.
Like, oh shit. Yeah, this is the boy in white no longer. This is the fucking young adult in white now. Fuck.
I love that, Jeremy. It sounds just like that. Do you know what? I love
You
it.
know what they're doing?
Behind the bush. It's like such
It's creeping.
such a
It's
weird thing to do. And Victor is like, what are you doing here? I love that Victor is unfazed. He's not like, oh my God, boy and white, right? Victor is
Yeah.
unfazed. He's like, I've been here a long time. I see magical things all the time. He's so unfazed that he's like,
Get out
what
of
are you
here.
doing here,
What are you
entity?
doing?
Get out of here, entity.
Private.
This is a private moment. The fact that he's so unfazed to tell him this is private. I know I've been looking for you and like I haven't seen you in a while and I've been asking about you, but this is private. Like, why would you show up right now?
Like,
It is
out
so
of,
funny.
out of all the times that you could have come up to me and told me this information, you choose right now. You couldn't have waited like 30 fucking seconds, bro. Come on. Like, really? You got to creep up to me while I'm at my mother and sister's grave? No tact.
Oh,
No tact the boy in white has. Absolutely
one
no
of
tact.
you, no tact. One of you in the chat said, because we were all observing, why is he staying in the bush? He could come out of the bush. What is, he stays in the bush. And somebody in the chat said, brilliant. You know, they said, he better be careful because he's old enough to catch charge
He's old
for
enough to get
pee.
the charge.
They said, he better be careful. He's old enough to catch charges for pee.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, he's going to have to keep 500 feet away from all schools if he's not careful. Yeah. Fuck. You guys are savage. Absolutely savage. Love it. But yeah, it's he's getting older. He's getting old. I feel like he's aged like 2 or 3 years just from when we saw him in episode 3. Like we saw him in episode 3 this season. He didn't look this old. He didn't sound this old. Like I swear he's aged just within the filming of those fucking episodes. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it'll be interesting to see what's going to go on here. Is Victor going to be able to stop Jade from pulling down that tree? I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. All right, let's get to these two. We got Diana for $10. Thank you so much, Diana. Very, very much appreciate you. So what do we think about Clara? And thank you for so many fun Saturday nights. Well, no, thank you guys for so many fun Saturday nights. Like, we love doing this. You know, PM and I talk about From for hours on end, even if when it's just us. But getting on here, it's even more fun having you guys to talk to. You know, like I never tire talking about the show. Even if there are some storylines that I haven't been like super excited about, I still love the show overall as a whole. And I love the characters. So yeah, no, if anything, I am saying thank you to PM, to Ravener, to everybody who's been an awesome co-host this season, and to all of you for showing up and hanging out with us for a little bit. It's you guys we should be thanking. I should be thanking. So thank you. Thank you, Diana. Very much appreciate it. Appreciate all the support.
Oh, that's so sweet. You're welcome, Jeremy. You couldn't have done it without me.
Could not have done it without you. Absolutely not.
But I love that the chat is correct. We have unlocked a new Jeremy interpretation. That boy in white voice is perfect, Jeremy. Like it's so on point. Do it again.
Oh, it's kind of hard to just do it. It kind of just comes out of me, you know, it kind of just comes out of me naturally. I don't know if I can try and do it. Yeah, let me muster her up.
Do you know
What do we think?
Have you heard what they're doing? That tree's important.
I told you.
I told you. The tree's important.
You know what though?
Fucking Benjamin
tell
Button
him.
and White.
He did tell him.
Benjamin Button.
It was season 3. Victor gets really mad at him and he's about to chop down the tree.
Yeah.
And he said, why don't you help us? Why don't you say anything?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
his response to why don't you help us? Why don't you tell us anything? Is don't chop down that tree. It's important. So he was helping them. That was
He was
his little
telling them.
tidbit
Right from
that
the,
it's
yeah.
important.
Yeah.
The thing though, and this is where we get mad at Boy and White. Go ahead and tell Jade or Tabitha, dude. Go over there and tell them you're telling the person in town that is so traumatized that people are not going to listen to. Go tell Boyd. Go tell somebody that has enough power to stop this, right? because once he shows up, he's all traumatized. Look at him. They're holding him back. They're thinking he's just afraid. Or go tell Ethan, little Mr. Professor, go tell him, somebody that can help. Now, what do we think about Clara? I think she's a sweet girl. The way that I read it, she seems like a sweet girl to me.
Me too.
Is she involved? Yeah. Is she everywhere? Yeah. I mean, I would be everywhere.
Yeah.
I would be creeping around. I don't want to be part of the crew and die, but I would for sure be like, what are they up to, right? She seems like a very nice and sweet girl. I don't think that there's anything malicious about her. I don't think that she's a mole. And I think that Sophia is getting her to get closer because she's about to do an incantation. We have seen Sophia do incantations. So I think she's just like, look at me, look closer. There's something, like I said, about the man in yellow or the entity in yellow, where it tricks you so that you are complicit in whatever it does. Henry didn't get the blood on his cup just because she walked in and put blood on his cup. No,
it was
he got the blood on his cup because after drinking a lot, she said, look, this is bad. And he says, no, it's fine. And he wants to keep drinking. At that point, he had like multiple opportunities to walk away and to send this girl packing. So I think that this is her version. She's like, Clara, look me in the eye. Look closer.
It's even interesting. I didn't even notice this the first few times I watched it, and that's what we were talking about. There's some, maybe Sophia putting some kind of glamour on Clara here in this scene, and then when I looked a little bit closer, if you look at this one little shot, it almost looks like Sophia's glasses are down. Like she put her glasses down a little bit, like so it can be straight up eye to eye contact. Because they're tilted down a little bit here, and then if we look a second earlier, they're not tilted down.
Maybe she's hypnotizing her. That's true, Jeremy.
That's what a glamour is. I think she's putting her under some kind of glamour, some kind of hypnosis, or some kind of way to bring her under her control, for lack of a better term. Because when we see Clara later on in the trailer, and they're in the upstairs bedroom, it almost looks like Clara's kind of sitting there being forced to listen to Sophia, almost like she doesn't have a choice to get up and leave. So no, I don't think Clara is some kind of secret character or anything like that. I don't think she's malicious either. I think Clara, just like we were saying earlier, just like I think Tilly was just Tilly, I think Clara is just Clara, and she is just getting caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. And we're going to see Sophia use her for some kind of end. But yeah, the glasses thing, the eye thing, definitely has me thinking that there's some kind of glamour going on here, especially how tilted down they are here. But yeah, I'd like to see what it really is. What's really going on. But
very exciting. We're gonna find out either way. If Clara is a mole or Clara is not a mole, we're about to find out. I lean towards no, but then again, you never know. It could be either one. It's very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah. And I think that's what's fun heading into episode 8 and 9. Again, I've been doing everything I can to avoid spoilers. We have been hearing that there's apparently spoilers going around for episodes 9 and 10. So definitely be careful out there, guys. Like, especially on Reddit threads, Facebook groups, X, Instagram, stuff like that. That's usually where these spoilers tend to start popping up first. So yeah, I'm trying everything I can to just stay away from any spoilers. I don't want to get spoiled this season going into these final 2 episodes. But yeah, here we go. We are just a little over 45 minutes away. But we have Dark Lake for $5. Love this. Why do we all ignore the fact that PM Philosophy would be a villain in the town? You know too much info, ma'am. Love this.
Well, Dark Lake, thank you so much for recognizing the ability in me to be a villain. I mean, potential. Thank you for recognizing potential in me. I don't think I would be a villain.
No.
Maybe to some people, I would want to hang around Boyd. I would be like, hey, Boyd, I'll take down notes. I'll do whatever. I'll follow you around, get you coffee. I would want to hang around him, right? Like that way I know everything that is happening.
Boyd and Jade.
I am
the 2 people I'd be hanging with, Boyd and Jade.
Jade's very cute. I don't know if I would pay attention to whatever he said. So I would go, not that Boyd isn't cute. Boyd is cute, but he's like a father figure,
Yeah.
I see him as a father. Okay, let's not go there because
No,
it's
no, no,
it's
no one's
going a
going
different direction now. But
No, yeah, not going there. No.
but when it is the villain in town,
Yeah.
I do have some ideas that are practical, ethically devastating, but they are practical. Let's talk
Yeah.
about Jade's plan.
Mhm.
Now, Jade has this idea that they have not been able to get out because nobody can make the difficult choices. They keep talking about the trolley problem. They have talked about it, they put it into our mind. They keep telling us sometimes some people have to die. You just got to let go of that. Katri said it. If I was Jade, yeah, I would be like, we need some heroes, right? I would try to entice the group to go down there, but we need to send different people down there that are not me and Tabitha. We are
Yeah.
needed for the final
They're
part.
important.
We
They're
did this
important.
to the children. I
Yeah.
wouldn't tell them I'm more important than you, but I would tell
No, I
them,
wouldn't say that, but they are more important. You got to find a more more politically correct way to break it to them. I
yes.
think.
Or
Yeah,
like Jade says, you're ding dongs and we're not ding dongs. So you're going to go down there and we're going to stay up here.
that'll
Um,
do. That'll do it.
No, I mean, you have to entice them to be able to sacrifice themselves, and you have to tell them you're dying for humanity. Okay, this is your 300 speech moment. You're gonna dine in hell
Yep.
tonight, but you're dying for humanity. You're saving all of these people in the world. Don't you want to be a hero? And you send
All
in
of
groups
us.
of
You're
people.
not just that's how you have to frame it. You're not just saving
That's how you have to
us.
frame it.
You're saving everybody that ever would have got stuck here after
And
us
we
in the
will tell
future.
your story. We will tell
Yep.
your story.
We
We
will
will
tell
tell
your
everybody
story.
that you were the one that got us out of here. And that's how you entice people to go down there and to do the work that needs to get done without risking the two main characters. Of course, for the plot, they're going to send Jade and Tabitha down there,
Yeah.
for the plot of it all. But when you think about it logically, it's the trolley problem. You have 40 people up in Colony House that are just getting high. Send
Yeah.
some of them, get them really high. Well, I don't know if
You
they will
got
follow instructions.
plenty of cannon fodder. When it comes to From, you got plenty of cannon fodder, plenty of red shirts, plenty of NPC characters just running around. There's a million Rogers out there. There's like 30 Rogers in the town. Yeah, sorry, you're gonna have to come up with a good, rousing speech, last stand, and all of that. You know how much this sacrifice is going to mean for you and humanity and your children. Make it good, make it believable. Because yeah, you got to find a way to keep Jade and Tabitha safe. All of the knowledge is inside their head. Without them, you have nothing. This cycle has nothing. They are more important. I know they don't want to put it that way, but they are. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it'll be interesting to see. And as Billy Hill says, so it's basically this is about Jade and Tabitha. I think at the center, yes, but not entirely. No, and I think that's why this cycle is special, and why this cycle and this group of people is different from all of the other groups that we've gotten, because they have the right, ancillary parts. They have the right support that they need this time to get it done. So I do think that yes, at the center of the story, it is Jade and Tabitha. They are two of the original parents. They are there that made the sacrifice. One of their children was one of the Onkui children. So at the center of the story, yes, they are at the nucleus of it, but it's not just about them. I wouldn't say that. We have really good, very real main storylines going on for Boyd, for all of the other characters as well. So they might be at the heart of it, but it's not just about them. That's at least how I see it anyway.
Mhm. Yeah, Bradley Hill. I think that it's a good way of putting it in a concise, very easy to understand manner. It is Jade and Tabitha.
Mhm.
I think that at the center of the story, we are looking at a story like all the great stories about the salvation of the soul. This story is about the salvation of the soul, not just the children, right? Because that is their mission. They're saving these children. But I think it's also Tabitha
It's
and Jade's
redemption.
soul.
It's redemption too.
And yeah, redemption, atonement for something that you have done, the salvation of your soul. So
Something
if
they
you're able
fail
to
to
save the
do over and
children,
over again.
your soul is not going to reincarnate. Therefore, you are saving multiple lifetimes and your soul traveling to do the same thing over and over. So I think it's, that is what is at the center of the story, salvation of the soul, the journey that you have to take to atone for when you do horrible, horrible things. And the story can be read in many ways. Like any great piece of work of art, you can read different things into the story. You
Yeah.
can interpret it through a different lens. And if
Yeah.
we look at just the fact that they killed their child and they're trying to save their child, it is this coming home again, right? The hero's
Mhm.
journey, the coming home again, the making it whole.
Yes.
We have seen a pattern. So that's what I kind of boiled it down to. It is the
Mhm.
salvation of the soul. And everybody else in From has their own little struggles. Boyd also, he is very much concerned for the bad thing that he did.
Mhm.
A lot of them, Sarah is very much concerned with this bad thing she did. So a lot of them have their own little struggles.
Yeah, and that's what I love about the show. Like the greater overall mystery is fun. It's really fun. It's we love throwing on the tinfoil hats, diving deep into the theories, and hearing your guys' theories and everything. That's always going to be fun. But the other aspect of the show, what's at the heart of it is the characters, the journeys that these characters are going on. Yes, it's a mystery box style of storytelling, but it's a very character driven show at its core. And that's what I love about it. It's not, for going through this, we'll get the answers to the mysteries as it goes along. But I want to see more where are these characters going? What is this journey going to take? What is this journey going to cost them? I think a lot of the themes from season 4 has been knowledge comes at a cost. But not just knowledge, everything that they're going to be doing in Fromville comes at a cost. Not just knowledge they're acquiring, everything they do comes with a cost. And I think that's one of the interesting aspects of not just the show, but something you can kind of take also into life, into everyday life. And I also love the deep dives that the show does with characters like Victor and Sarah and some of these other characters, where you're getting like just a really good look at human trauma, human fear, human isolation, what these things can do to people over the course of a generation or however long. It is at the end of the day, this is a very psychological story. It's a psychological thriller more than anything, is kind of how I see it. And it really paints a really interesting look at just the basic human condition. And that's what I love about From. That's what I love about the characters. They are all just so human at the end of the day. They all have very real world human shit that they're dealing with, whether it's Boyd and his health issues, Victor and his trauma, Jade and the memories. Like they all are dealing with something profoundly human with a twist of supernatural to it. So that's what I love. I feel like the show blends these two genres incredibly well, from the supernatural horror aspect of it to just the good old fashioned human character driven storytelling. They mix them very well. And that's, I feel, why the show kind of has something for everybody. If you're watching the show and you're like super deep into the mystery only, that's fine. There's plenty of it for you. If you're watching the show and you're kind of more just into the characters and their journeys, then that's fine. There's plenty of it, or you can enjoy all of it. But that's why I think From is such it has such a wide variety of fan base, because it really is so much going on in there that is something that speaks to everybody in From, I think. But yeah, it's a very human story at the end of the day.
Yeah. All in all, we are two episodes. Technically, we are minutes
Yeah.
away from this
Half
episode.
hour.
So one episode, right?
Yeah.
We love the show. We love to theorize. But at the end of the day, I want the writer to tell us his story the way that he wanted to tell us
He
his
wants it
story,
told.
without
Yeah.
the influence of the theories, without the influence
Yeah.
of what people want or don't want.
Yeah.
I already think, he's a genius for coming up with this story so far. Like,
Yeah.
we haven't had original stories for a while. Everything is a rehash. And this is a very interesting story that created a whole fandom around itself.
Mhm.
So I already think that he did amazing. And regardless of if your theory is true or not, like, who cares, dude? At the
Yes.
end of the day, let me tell you what's going to happen. Let's say that somebody got their entire theory correct. They're gonna come on here, they'll say, I got my theory is correct, right? And then nothing happens, because
Mm.
there's nothing invested in it, because it is just the fun is the payment that you get from theorizing. There is nothing else really. So I just want him, I wish I could talk to the creator, because I wonder if the pressure of the fandom growing feels suffocating or if he looks at comments regarding the show because it's everywhere, right? Sometimes if you're on social media, even if you're not looking for it, they're probably showing him all of this From stuff because he created From. And I want him to tell his story the way that he wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, you always want to see a creator's true full vision come to fruition. You don't want to see it get, sometimes you'll see studios step in and kind of try to make some creative decisions every now and then. And that varies from studio to studio, and that varies from contract to contract in terms of how much creative freedom you retain as a creator. But yeah, no, it seems like John Griffin is telling his story. I want him to be able to tell his story, like you said, exactly how it was intended, however many seasons that is, however many episodes he needs, just what he needs to tell the story, no more and no less. And if 5 seasons is what he needs, then that's great. We'll end it at 5. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That is what I'm looking forward to. That is what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, we got 30 minutes now, guys. 30 minutes. Well, 31 minutes away from episode 9. We are getting very, very close. Very, very, very close. Yeah, this is also another, I think this is also another common misconception that a lot of people seem to think John Griffin wrote Lost. He didn't. John Griffin did not write Lost at all. The only thing that Lost and From share are executive producers. 2 totally different writers. Colin Cuse and Damon Lindelof wrote Lost. Where John Griffin and his writing team wrote From. So they're 2 totally different writers. And I think that kind of just gets misconstrued because they're the same executive producer. But no, 2 totally different creative teams behind these shows, 2 totally different writers. But I know that's something that I think is just a common misconception is all. But yeah, no, this is not the same writers. Not at all.
This is just my opinion, right? If you are a creative person, an artist of sorts, somebody that likes to create things, anything, it could be anything, art, whatever it is. I know that a lot of people are saying that this is the story of Lost, just reinterpret it.
No, there's parallels.
Okay, my opinion. This is just my opinion.
Story.
This is my opinion. I wouldn't like to hear that. I wouldn't like to hear that because Lost got its storyline from where all of the storylines come from. Good versus evil. This is something that has been around for a long time. Good versus evil, the shift in the dynamic and the controls for the world.
Concept. Yeah.
That's a very old concept. But also, if you love what he's doing with From, it's kind of offensive because that's like somebody telling you, hey, I love the piece of work that you did, that art. Did you copy it from this?
I love that story you
Did
copied.
Did you copy your friend?
Because
it looks just like your friends.
Yeah.
He's not going to be thrilled. I wouldn't be thrilled. Or I love this video that you made. Did you copy it from your friend? Because your friend said the exact same thing. It's not the most productive and nicest thing. And nobody wants to do that, Yeah. But yeah, he didn't write Lost. I keep telling you guys, if you want to see another thing that he actually wrote himself, he has an episode of The Twilight Zone. Yes. John Griffin, him, the writer, he wrote an episode for The Twilight Zone. That is 100% him, the reboot. You could watch that. That is something he wrote.
I believe it's season 1, episode 9, I want to say. I might be wrong. It might be 8. But yeah, for the, when they rebooted the Twilight Zone, all these years later when Jordan Peele was the host of it. John Griffin was one of the writers for one of the episodes of season 1. He was one of the first writers they tapped. And it's a good episode. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Twilight Zone reboot. I feel like it's just nowhere near, the same feel as the original Twilight Zone. But that's actually one of the few good episodes that are in the reboot is John Griffin's one. But yeah, I mean, again, and again, shows like Lost, they're not going to be for everybody, and that is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Some shows are for some audiences and some shows are for other audiences. It's just that simple. It's all about what your preference is. What do you like? What kind of storytelling are you looking to consume? What kind of stories do you like to get lost into? Stuff like that. It's really just a matter of preference at the end of the day. I mean, yes, there are some objective things that you can kind of point out once in a while, but for the most part it's largely just your preference. If you like a show, You like it. Doesn't matter what anybody else says. You like it. But that's it. But that is it. But here we go, folks. 11:33. We are just less than a half hour away from the episode 9 watch party. So I'm going to get the link right now. I'm going to throw it into the chat and I will pin it. So anybody who wants to watch episode 9 when it drops a little after midnight, again, just 27 minutes away, you guys will be able to join us and watch episode 9 in the Discord. Because again, I know not everybody gets the episode at the same time, depending on what part of the country you live in, or not so much part of the country you live in. If you live in the country in the States and you are a direct subscriber of MGM Plus, you'll get it right at midnight. It's if you go through MGM Plus through Amazon, then you're gonna have to wait a little bit. We're not exactly sure why. Just a little bit of a staggered release, I guess you could say. But if you are a MGM Plus subscriber through Amazon Prime, you won't get the episode right at midnight like everybody else. You have to wait a little bit, about an hour later or so. But if you are a member of MGM Plus and you live in the States, you'll get it right at midnight. But rest assured, no matter where you live, no matter what you're a subscriber to, if you want to pop into the Discord, you can watch it right there with everybody else, no problem. Our other co-host, Ravener, is setting up as we speak, getting ready to play episode 9 as soon as it drops. So here we go, folks. Here is the link to the watch party for episode 9. We're close now, guys. Very, very close. 25 minutes away. 25 friggin' minutes. Got to love it.
Very exciting. But I like what Krista Seattle here is saying. I think the premise of nightmares coming to life is so scary.
It's
hoping we get another monster.
Yes.
Donna's would be wild.
Yes.
Donna is a tough broad, dude. Donna is a tough lady. So her nightmares, what she fears, must be insane because she's a tough lady. I don't imagine that she's afraid of, a lot of things. So her nightmare must be a tough one to kill. That's a really interesting one because a lot of people thought that Donna died during that moment where Boyd is working on her.
Technically stop. Her heart, technically speaking, she died for a few seconds. So yeah, what if her nightmare is already being born?
Yeah. And let's put our tinfoil witch hat on. It's somewhere around here. Do you remember that Fatima, when she was pregnant, she was really skinny. She couldn't eat anything. She was, just sick. She goes into the bathroom and she rips out a tooth, a wisdom tooth. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Could it be possible that Fatima has been dead? That she died? Like that she has died? That is why she was eating,
that she went through killed her, maybe?
Yeah. When her wisdom tooth came out, could that have been an indication that she is dead? Fatima hasn't been alive for a while. She hasn't been alive since that tooth fell out.
That's very interesting. I don't know. I mean, we did see when Christy and Marielle, when Christy checked her vitals and her blood pressure, it was well below human levels. Like she should not have been alive. I think her heart rate was like 19 beats per minute, which is inhuman. You should not be alive if your heartbeat is only 19 beats per minute. You should be dead if that is the case. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a very interesting theory. I mean, I definitely get the feeling whatever she's going through definitely has something to do with the smiley thing. I mean, I feel like that's almost a given. But yeah, I mean, could she have been like slowly a walking corpse this whole fucking time? Yeah, that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. Maybe
that's tinfoil. That's tinfoil, which is what I love about the show. I love the great stuff that people come up with. I think that's the funnest part for me. That you guys come up with some crazy stuff and we get a little wild too sometimes. Like Fatima has been dead. Probably not. She's probably alive and just fine. But it's fun to theorize.
There's nothing wrong with throwing on the tinfoil hat every once in a while and going crazy. I mean, this show is meant to have fun with. It's meant to be fun at the end of the day. If you're not having fun, then I feel sorry because this is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be a show that you have fun with. So that's why we try not to take it too seriously, but we do take it seriously. Kind of skirt that line. But yeah. it should be fun at the end of the day. And yes, we got Brazil in the house. What is up, Brazil? And again, I'm always super, kind of blown away to see, where people are tuning in from all over the world. It's always so fun to see all of these different countries, everybody, just how far the show of From has really spread all over the globe. So welcome, Brazil. Welcome, 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 my friend. You are most welcome here. And here we go, folks. We are 22 minutes away, just 22 more minutes. 100% tinfoil hat show. I mean, we've done them in the past, Lee, and I'm totally down to do another one. I mean, maybe we'll do another one during the week at some point. PM and I aren't doing a Sunday stream tomorrow because tomorrow is the premiere of House of the Dragon. So maybe we can make that stream up by doing one on like Monday or Tuesday, just full on tinfoil hat heading into the finale. That could be pretty fun. We could do something like that. We could do something like that.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Come up with the wildest theories.
Crazy.
If we're gonna get tinfoil guys, then I need you to come here, think about something. When you're watching the episode, think of something wild. Write it down, come back on Monday and tell us the craziest, most tinfoil conspiracy theory about From that you can come up with. Because those are my favorite. They're always
Those
fun.
are fun. Those are fun.
I did see somebody mention Toby. They still want answers about Toby.
Yes.
I'm beginning to think, just, my thought, I'm beginning to believe that perhaps Toby was taken out because they couldn't touch Jade. You can't hurt Jade, but you need to hurt him enough. Yeah, hurt him enough that he doesn't feel like he could hit the ground running. If this was his friend, then they probably have a lot in common. They probably could have worked together and figured things out very quickly. And also, when you have situations like the one that they're about to go into, if they're going to pull this tree, they're going to rescue the bones or unearth the bones. If you have a friend that is ride or die for you, Toby would have been like, I'll do it. I'll go down there, Jade. You stay up here. I'll go down there. We will get this done. And perhaps that's what they were trying to do, to remove his ally, just like they did with Tabitha. Yep. Tabitha's biggest ally was Jim when he started helping. And what did they do? They removed them. They killed him off as soon as he started helping.
Likely because the Man in Yellow can't kill Jade and Tabitha directly. So you kill the allies.
But you leave Jim around at the beginning because he's actually problematic. Jim was keeping Tabitha from trying to communicate with Jade, from seeking answers. So he's an asset to you in this chess game. As soon as he's not an asset, then you kill him. And perhaps for Jade, that partner would have been Toby. Somebody that was ride or die, that would have helped them, that would have sacrificed for him and would have gone there to get the bones while Jade stayed up there. So that's where I'm thinking that it goes. Now, remember when they said, kill the boy, kill the boy. There's, Ethan. They wanted Ethan to die. I'm thinking that the only reason why the Man in Yellow wanted Ethan dead is because a lot of the storylines, if you take a notice, they're kind of converging on Ethan. Ethan has become a focal point of hope for the town. Ethan has become courage for Victor. Victor never wanted to help until he wanted to help so that Ethan wouldn't suffer. Tabitha, suddenly, she wants to be helpful because she doesn't want Ethan to suffer. Julie's going to become helpful, I believe, because she's going to hear that there's the possibility that Ethan becomes Victor. Nobody wants that. So she'll probably start helping. If you would have killed Ethan since day one, you would have taken out that source of hope that all of these people were going to use as courage. That's why they wanted Ethan dead.
Yeah, no, I could totally see that. We're seeing that Ethan is very much following in a similar footsteps of Victor. Hold on. I can't kill Jade or Tabitha. What are you talking about, Jeremy? Have you seen my stand-up routine? That slays everybody. Doug, you are absolutely right, my friend. How mistakenly could I have been? Mea culpa. 1,000 mea culpa. Yeah, I mean, Doug's stand-up will slay anybody. Absolutely. Jade and Tabitha at the same time, no doubt. Love it. Absolutely love it. But I also I thought this was an interesting theory as well, as Blitzkrieg brings up. I don't think the Man in Yellow wants Ethan dead. I think the children want him dead. Ooh, now that would, if nothing else, it would be an interesting twist. A twist that I think a lot of us probably wouldn't have seen coming. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Again, this is why we love these kind of theories that maybe are outside the box, theories that we haven't heard before. It's fun to kind of dive into stuff like this, but yeah, who knows? I mean, we're all assuming that the children are the kind of benevolent force. But then again, they are also the ones that are pulling people into this nightmare hell as well, just to get themselves saved. So I think it could be an interesting twist. I mean, I do tend to think that the man in yellow was maybe behind some of it, but no, I like this idea. If nothing else, it's an interesting theory, a theory I haven't heard before, at least, that maybe it was the children that wanted him dead.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I'd like to know a little bit more of behind that thought. Is
Yeah.
it why do the children want Ethan dead? That would
Yeah,
be my
what would they
question.
gain? What does Ethan represent that the children would want him off the board? I guess. Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm interested in. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome. How much time more? We are getting very close now, ladies and gents. We are just 16 minutes. 16 minutes away. So usually around 5-10 minutes before the actual episode airs is when I shut the stream down. But the link to the watch party is right in the chat. It will continue to be right in the chat. I see our mods have been putting it in throughout the night. So thank you, mods. Thank you, Kiwi. Thank you, Rogue Prince. Very much appreciate that. And it is also pinned to the chat as well. So if you refresh the chat, you should see my pinned chat at the very bottom. That link will take you right to the Discord watch party where you can watch episode 9 just after midnight, around 15 or 16 minutes or so from now. So we're close now, guys. We are very, very close. What do you guys think is in the picture that Elgin is holding? Interesting. I think the popular theory that seems to be going around is something that is going to expose Sophia, because they also released this photo too, that seems to potentially maybe be the same photo that Elgin might be holding. But it's really hard to tell exactly what it's a photo of. It almost kind of looks like an old car, but it's super hard to really tell. And we don't even know if it is the same photo. But no, I mean, again, now that we're here in episode 9, I feel like it is long past time that Sophia got exposed, that the townsfolk finally find out who Sophia really is. She's been undercover right underneath their nose for 8 episodes now. Now that we're getting towards the end, I do feel like we're getting towards that time where she is going to be discovered. So maybe Elgin is the first step in that, the first step of uncovering Sophia, because I thought it was very interesting seeing Elgin hold that photo. Then we see the picture of Sophia holding that photo, and then we see the two of them in the diner together here. So I don't know, maybe Elgin found something that doesn't quite make sense to him regarding her.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that. And the reason why I'm concerned about that is because with Elgin, it could go 50-50. We could go either way.
He could end up working with her. He could end up fucking working with her.
He could think she's an angel. Okay,
Yeah.
either Elgin is going to look at the photograph and know, oh my God, we're looking for this guy that is apparently here. This is Sophia, but this is a super old photo, and he might actually out Sophia.
Maybe.
But we know that Elgin is prone to believing in the unfathomable, being ugly, and also being angelic. He said, my grandmother said that the angels from the Bible would terrify people.
Yes.
So he is used to putting together horror along with divinity. I would be concerned with Elgin because he also didn't seem super sorry about what he did to Fatima. I don't think the words "I'm sorry" ever came out when they were having that conversation after the fact. Not really. So it could be, is he going to think that Sophia is an angel and help her?
Yeah.
Or if it is that photograph, is he going to actually do something about it?
To expose
It
her.
could go 50-50.
Totally. Because, yeah, like you said, we have that really interesting conversation between Elgin and Julie that I felt definitely gave us a bit of more of an insight into Elgin's state of mind after the whole Fatima thing, where he feels like he knows he was deceived, but he also still feels like God's presence is here. Like the truth is right there. You just have to see through the lies and then you can get to the truth. And maybe Sophia can convince him that she is that ultimate truth. I can totally see that. Yeah, play dumb, Elgin. You didn't see anything. I mean, that might, just speaking purely tactically, that might be his best bet. Might be the best thing he could probably do. Just play fucking dumb. I didn't see shit. I don't know who you're talking. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are.
Chiquita here in the chat, Chiquita Cyber is a survivor. That is how
Yeah.
you survive.
That's
You
a
know, you
survivor.
stay on the fringe of the drama. You know, you're not quite in the drama, but you're around there. That is how you survive. You didn't see anything, you didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
But
Snitches get
Makeda says,
snitches
yeah,
get stitches. Always.
yeah, exactly. Makeda says, can he be that stupid? Listen, Kimono Lady
I think he could be.
grabbed
Yes.
him, tried to drown him in the bathtub, screamed like a banshee. She was like screaming in his face, drowning him. He gets out of that experience and he says, I think she's an
That's an
angel.
angel.
I think she's an angel. So I think he can be, dude. I think he can be. And also,
No.
Sophia has this divine look about her, which is why I'm thinking that they chose
Uh-huh.
this transformation. If she says,
Yeah.
oh, you know, I'm this divine angel, she does look like an angel. Maybe she is, you know? So I could see
Mhm.
him falling for it.
No, totally. Again, I like you said, I do think Elgin is that dumb to fall for something like this again. Just given where his state of mind is, given where he does still think that God is giving him this truth, he just needs to kind of get through all the lies to see it. Yeah, I think he's still very much primed to be manipulated here. So that will be fun. That will be very fun to see how he reacts to this. What will be his ultimate choice? But yeah, here we go, folks. Here we go. We are approaching the 10-minute mark right now. It is 11:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which means we are 11 minutes away. We got AM2 Fly for $2. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do we ever see the Lake of Tears in From? Another very interesting topic, very popular topic, actually, that we've all been kind of wondering what's going on with this Lake of Tears. We get that interesting scene with this dead version of Jim, which we're still not quite sure if it was the real Jim or not. But yeah, we hear him talking about this Lake of Tears and how this is Ethan's kind of, he charges Ethan, I guess you could say, to find this lake. But then again, that story kind of went, not fizzled out. I mean, they did kind of continue it with Tabitha bringing Ethan to the ruined settlement to see if that lake was the actual lake. Me at this point, I'm still not 100% sure if the Lake of Tears is even going to be real, for one. And if it is real, will it actually be like a physical lake, or is the Lake of Tears a metaphor for something else, a symbolic metaphor for something else that is a representation of it, I guess you could say. So I don't know. I'm still kind of 50-50 on it. I like the idea of what Jade said in episode, I believe it was episode 4. When Tabitha tells Jade about what Ethan saw, about how Ethan saw Jim and this Lake of Tears story, Jade has a very interesting possible explanation that this might just be trauma, that this might just be Ethan's way of grieving his father's loss. What better way to make sense of something? What better way to find meaning in the loss of someone profound than to maybe have some kind of way to make it all mean something? That there's this kind of bigger destiny waiting for you. So part of me wouldn't be too surprised if what Ethan saw was just a figment of his own imagination. But then again, it might not be. Could it be the real Jim? Yes. Could it be something pretending to be Jim that just wants to find the Lake of Tears because the Lake of Tears is an important place? That is also a real possibility as well. Again, we've been teased about this Lake of Tears from the very beginning. Season 1, episode 2, we first hear about it. Well, season 1, episode 1, excuse me. And then in episode 2, it's even reinforced with Ethan saying that he has a dream where he saw the Lake of Tears. So again, I could totally see it being a real place, but for me, I wonder, is it an actual lake or is it a metaphor for something else? I don't know. What about you? Do you think we'll see the actual Lake of Tears in From, like an actual lake?
Yeah. Well, let's get crazy. I am to fly. Thank you for the super chat. I went back to see that scene where Ethan says that he saw the Lake of Tears. Now, put your tinfoil witch hats on, okay?
Tinfoil
Where's
hat.
mine? Tinfoil witch hat. Follow me here. When
Yeah.
Ethan comes back, he says verbatim, I saw the Lake of Tears. It was a drawing on the wall.
Drawing on the wall.
There was
Yeah.
lots of drawings of us on the wall.
Yep.
So if we take him at his word, tinfoil, the Lake of Tears could literally be a drawing on the wall. And
we know
maybe
what
that
drawing it
drawing
is.
can be a portal. That drawing could potentially be a portal. That drawing could potentially be something that has in the back of it a message of where the door is. I do think that if we listen to what Ethan is saying, they need to go look at that drawing on the wall. He said, I saw the Lake of Tears. It is a drawing on the wall. So they need to
It was
grab
this
that
one, I
drawing,
believe.
the specific one. Well, I don't know because I don't remember that he showed us which drawing.
I
He
think
just
it
says
was
there was a
the
drawing on the wall.
Yeah, I'm
And
pretty
he
sure
kind
it's
of
this one.
pans. He, I don't know. I can't verify that because the camera pans through all of the drawings. He says it very quickly and he says there's lots of drawings and all of us are there. If we take him at his word, it could potentially be that that piece of paper that has the drawing of the Lake of Tears has instructions, information about the door, or information about how to
Yeah.
get out of from. Or it could be a portal. That is something that they're going to need. I think it could be as
Mhm.
simple as that. Ethan says, I saw the Lake of Tears. It's a drawing on the wall. Maybe
Yeah.
he needs that drawing. He needs to look at the back of that drawing, or that drawing is going to convert into a portal. Now, the reason why I think that there has to be something to the Lake of Tears is because I understand that Jade said, hey, maybe he's grieving. And so he's creating this illusion of his dad. Dude, this is the thing about From. We're in From. There's monsters that come out at night. There's scarecrows that are, fire myths everywhere. There's magical things happening, reincarnation. But when this kid tells you that he saw his dead dad, you're gonna be like, no, no, this place is getting to you, Ethan. The trauma is getting to you, Ethan. No,
I
it's
think it's a
not getting to
possibility.
him.
I think it's a
It's like
possibility. Yeah.
so everything else is real. We have Fatima giving birth to Smiley, all of this stuff. But when this kid says, my dead dad came over here and talked to me, we're going to be like, no, Ethan, I think that this place has gotten to you. I think that mentally you're unwell. It's like we need to start believing these people at some point. We need to start
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
whatever you see, it's probably right.
It could be, but I feel like we also have a really good kind of history of child trauma on the show, and that really having effect on these children's minds as well. But no, again, I could see it being either or. I could easily see the Lake of Tears being an actual real place that they really do need to find, a place that's actually physically out there in Fromville. Or again, I could also see the Lake of Tears potentially maybe being like a metaphor for something. Like the Lake of Tears isn't exactly like an actual physical lake, but a metaphor for something else that they need to find in order to complete this quest. Maybe I could totally see that as well. But yeah, I could see all three possibilities being possible, I guess, is what I'm saying. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? But here we go, folks. We are just 4 minutes away, so we are going to have to get ready to close this down. But first, I see one more from the awesome I Am Too Fly. Worst place to be trapped, back rooms or Fromville? Ooh, interesting. I guess it depends on what version of the back rooms we're talking about. Because if we're talking about the version of the back rooms from the actual feature film, that version I'd rather be in than Fromville, because you can get out of that version. All you got to do is find the doorway and you're out. That's it. There's way in and there's a way out. Yes, you can get trapped if you go too far deep into it, but there is a clear exit that is marked in and out. So for me, and there's less of a threat. When you're in the back rooms, there's nowhere near as much deadly shit around the corner trying to kill you like we have in Fromville. All you really have is that one little kind of Clark entity kind of walking around, which is super fucking slow too. So if we're just strictly talking about the movie version of the back rooms that you can come and go from freely, yeah, I'd rather be stuck there because at least you have a real chance of just getting out. All you got to do is find the exit. Fromville, a little more complicated. But that's just me personally. What about you, PM? Which one would you rather be stuck in?
I mean, you're assuming
the worst place to be stuck in. Sorry.
a worst place. That's a good question. But really, you're assuming that you want to get out. For me, I
True.
want to be in From. I want to be in From tomorrow. Like, take me with you, Boyd. I want to be in From. I want to be doing all the From things. I think at this point, I know a couple of things and hiding places. I would love being in From. Of course, I would. What a dream come true. And I wouldn't want to get out. It's like, whatever, take your time. No rent. I get a house. I mean, I live in California, so I own property in From. Hell yes. You're giving me everything. Oh, listen, I want to be in from. So for me, the worst place would be the back rooms because I don't want to be in the back
Okay.
rooms. I want to be in from.
Okay, there you go. There you go. It is coming out very soon. It is coming out in 2 minutes, and anybody who wants to watch it, the watch party link is in the chat. It is pinned to the chat. All you got to do is click on that link. That will take you to the Discord where you can watch episode 9. Thanks to our awesome other co-host, Lord Ravener, for hosting in the Discord. So we are going to close it down right now. So everybody who wants to watch the episode, click on that link, head on over into the Discord. That will be starting momentarily. And then when the episode is done, we will be right back here on YouTube going live again to discuss episode 9 with each and every one of you. So hopefully you guys come back and return and tell us your thoughts on episode 9. PM, you ready? 2 episodes
I
left.
am
This is
so ready.
penultimate.
I'm so ready. I want justice for Clara. Justice for Clara.
Justice
Let's go.
for Clara.
I want to see that she's a good girl.
Yep. Justice for Clara. And yes, awesome. Another shout out to the awesome Lord Ravener for hosting these watch parties every week. The guy's been an absolute champ. He's been right there on the money. I feel like we just such a great team here, such a great crew here on this channel. And I'm so thankful to have these awesome co-hosts with me every week. This has been so fun. And all of you awesome freaking people in the chat who have been fucking hilarious this year. You guys have been killing us every fucking week.
Are you going to show us the wig? Are you going to show us the wig before we go?
No, that's going to be for the after show. That's going to be for the after show. Yep. We're going to show it. We got a new wig coming in the after show for you guys, especially for you guys. World premiere. But yeah, that is going to do it for us now, folks. Head on into the Discord. The watch party will be starting soon. I'm going to head off now, and we'll be back here on YouTube in a little over an hour from now, and we will be dissecting episode 9 together. So see you all soon. Stay safe out there, folks. Get your snacks and drinks ready, and we will see you very, very soon. Cheers.
Okay, ding dongs. If you don't subscribe to Jeremy Ice and Fire, you're gonna spend the night in the box.